So Nigel It's Not My Mess Farage has stepped down as leader of the UKIP party. Now whether you like him or think he's done the political equivalent of shitting on your doorstep, ringing the bell and then running away doesn't really interest me. I just thought it'd be fun to look back on some of the dumb shit he said. 'Cause he said a lot. Here are the 6 dumbest things Nigel Farage has done. Insulting the BBC audience. It takes a certain kind of man to insult a whole crowd full of people on live national television, and to get it wrong. Take a look.
There just seems to be a total lack of comprehension on this panel, and indeed amongst this audience, which is a remarkable audience even by the left-wing standards of the BBC. I mean, this lot's pretty left-wing.
Hang on a second.
But very interesting.
Hang on a second.
When you talk
Nigel,
about
let me
housing,
just say one thing.
Yeah.
This is an audience that has been carefully chosen, not
Very
by the
carefully.
BBC, not by the BBC, but
Yes.
by an independent polling organisation to represent the balance between all parties.
It's never a great idea.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
And this was during the 2015 general election. Spoiler, he did not win. Blaming the gender pay gap on women being worthless. Can't really sugarcoat this one. This is what he said.
In many, many cases, women make different choices in life to the ones that men make, simply for biological reasons. And if a woman who has a client base, has a child, and takes 2 or 3 years off work, she is worth far less to the employer when she comes back than when she went away, because that client base will not be stuck as rigidly to her portfolio.
Oh, Nige. The Breaking Point poster. Even the Brexit campaign itself was against how anti-migrant Nigel Farage was coming across during the referendum. So you can understand how the public reacted when Nigel Farage released this poster. Especially after comparisons between it and Nazi propaganda were drawn. Just not a good idea in general, this one. Admitting the NHS claims were lies. Even if you specifically never made that promise. At least wait a day or two before admitting that people voted based on a lie, especially if it's for your campaign.
£350 million a week we send to the EU, which we will no longer send to the EU. Can you guarantee that's going to go to the NHS?
No, I can't, and I would never have made that claim.
17 million people have voted for leave.
Yep.
Based, I don't know how many people voted on the basis of that advert, but that was a huge part of the propaganda. You're now saying that's a mistake.
Telling the EU Parliament that they've never had proper jobs. At this point, you've won. You've got what you wanted. Take your own advice.
But what I would like to see is a grown-up and sensible attitude to how we negotiate a different relationship.
And roll with it. Don't go and say this straight after.
Now I know that virtually none of you have ever done a proper job in your lives, or worked in business, or worked in trade, or indeed ever created a job.
Especially when it's a complete lie. The majority of the people just sat behind him have held jobs within the business sector, never mind the rest of the room. Saying that no shots had been fired. Now there was a lot wrong with what Nigel Farage said during his Brexit winning speech. Not only did he imply that 50% of the country were not decent folks.
This will be a victory for real people, a victory for ordinary people, a victory for decent people.
But he also stated that this was a victory won without violence. Despite an MP being murdered only a couple of weeks prior to this, all because of her political beliefs.
We will have done it without having to fight, without a single bullet being fired.
You just don't have to say that. Whatever you think of him, I'll be sad to see him go because the man is comedy gold. And if you are like me, do take solace in the fact that this is not the first time he has resigned as leader. He may be back. Yay! And do let me know if he said any other dumb shit that I've left out in the comments.